went to UC Berkeley as part of a rotating fellowship, which was to rotated between UC Berkeley, Stanford and UC Davis, and between literature, history and anthropology. And it was designed to promote Irish studies on the western coast of the United States in non-traditional Irish population centres. Certainly being a Fulbright scholar carries quite an amount of cachet, and people are we're very keen to make sure that the Fulbright dimension of my award was highlighted. Certainly there was a great distinction to being a Fulbright scholar at UC Berkeley, and I was instantly recognised as part of an important international programme. It conferred status and recognition on me from the moment I walked through the door. Well, one of the wonderful things about the Fulbright experience and that Fulbright award that I had was that there were a number of Irish studies programs in the United States where they were very keen to invite me to speak. So I ended up speaking in Notre Dame in Indiana, as well as Dominican in Chicago and Wake Forest University in Carolina. And the Fulbright provides a grant to allow scholars to do this sort of ambassadorial work. So there were a number of supports in place to help me to do this travel when I was there. One of the things about travelling with my family to the United States on the Fulbright programme was the support that we received from the Fulbright Commission in Ireland in terms of preparing our papers, in terms of getting things ready, because it's quite a task. I received great support from both people inside Berkeley and from the Fulbright Commission in Ireland in readying ourselves and then settling ourselves when we got there in terms of advice about schools, supports and so forth. And for all of us, it was actually a really wonderful Fulbright experience. Well, recommendations for applying for a Fulbright award would include, more than anything, thinking as holistically and broadly as possible about what Fulbright is and what Fulbright means. I think many people focus on the intellectual content of an application and, miss out on the possible richness of the other opportunities that are afforded by the specialness of what Fulbright offers people. I mean, I think that there is an especially vibrant and supportive Fulbright Commission in Ireland, which has really shelters, embraces and opens itself to continuing contact and relationship with returning Fulbrighters. And this has been one of the aspects that has surprised me the most. And you do very emphatically feel that you're part of a community when you return. So the Fulbright experience doesn't end when you leave the United States. In many ways, it's just beginning. And the journey that you will go on from there on out is one which is going to be continually rewarding. So it would be important to think about what are the ways that you think that you could, what are the talents you could bring to enriching the life of the Commission or supporting it or being involved in it. So it certainly enriched my career in terms of developing a very important international network as part of the Fulbright experience. It's also enriched it in terms of the types of contributions that I can make at NUI Maynooth, given the types of changes that we are making, particularly across our graduate programmes and thinking much more broadly in terms of graduate schools. I felt it was an incredibly important endorsement of the work that I was doing, and I felt greatly honoured by this award.